absolute catastrophe. It was a tragedy. We ended up having quite a few casualties from our last inoculation, and as you can see by my beautiful tower of glass behind me, and I wanted to share with you guys why. So we ended up losing all of our pink oyster jars, and they did not colonize for one of two reasons. It's very rare for me not to have any jars of a particular variety colonize. So, reason one is because I did not account for them being a warmer weather mushroom. When I pulled it from my archives, when I pulled the pink oyster liquid culture, this is actually the same liquid culture from the same day. I neglected to account that it required higher temperatures than the other mushrooms that I was growing. So while other mushrooms like the lion's mane, we inoculated these the same day. Uh, they performed well. The turkey tail, they all performed well. They all colonized. The cordyceps, they performed well. The ones that colonized and our reishi liquid culture colonized. The pink oysters, none of them colonized. So initially, my first thought was, oh man, when I realized that there was a temperature differential that I needed to account for, I was like, oh man, that had to be the reason why, because I even let the temperature get down to where it would be a danger point for the lion's mane, the cordyceps, and the turkey tail. So knowing that, and knowing that pink oysters need higher temperatures to grow, I'm pretty confident that if not the reason, if not the only reason, it definitely aided in those jars not colonizing. Now, the other reason, which is probably the more viable of the two, is that the syringe that I use to make the liquid culture, what's left of it is actually right here, was contaminated to begin with. Now, this particular syringe, I actually repurposed. I have a feeling that when I was repurposing it, it was not healthy to begin with. So you can see from the master liquid culture jar to this liquid culture jar that we use to inoculate, there's a difference in the texture of the mycelium or the way that it looks. It's very unusual for this. For the mycelium in here not to have clumped back together. This particular master culture jar, it's over a year old and still very, very healthy. This one the one that we use to make the syringe and inoculate those jars, this is around 10, no more than 14 days old since we actually used it to make the syringe, and for it not to show any clumping and to actually look like it's degenerating, that leads me to believe that this syringe and the rest of this liquid culture are now junk. So rather than running them and testing them to see if they are still good, which in order to do that, you either test it on auger or you can test it on another jar. I don't want to waste the time. I'm just going to go ahead, clean out that jar, toss out that syringe, and use this master culture jar, which is still very, very healthy, to make some more and start that process over again. So that's just a cautionary tale to everybody out there. Be conscious of the growth parameters for the mushrooms that you decide to grow. When I pulled the pink art oyster out from my archives, I really wasn't thinking about, oh, it needs a different temperature. I pulled it out. I'm like, oh, this would be fun to grow. Well, let's see what it does. So that's more along the line of what made my decision rather than actually planning that one through. The other ones were planned, that one was not, and it potentially came back to bite me in the butt. But again, be conscious of your growth parameters, and then also make sure that you're always using sterile technique. By not fully sterilizing that syringe, I cost myself a couple days and a couple jars that I could have used for or had available and fully colonized for another strain that I was using. So always pay attention, always be conscious of your environment, always be safe, and happy shrooming.